Dopinder.
Cool. Dead.
Why the fancy red suit, Mr. Poole?
Oh, that's because it's Christmas Day, Dopinder. And I'm after someone on my naughty list.
How's it going, everybody? Today I'm reviewing the new film Deadpool, directed by Tim Miller and starring Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin, TJ Miller, Ed Skrein, and many, many more. Now, this tells the story of Wade Wilson, a former Special Forces officer turned mercenary, and through a couple procedures, he gets turned into the rogue known as Deadpool. Now, there's a lot of hype surrounding this movie, and I had high hopes going into it. Did it deliver? It sure did. This movie was crazy. It seems like Valentine's Day weekend has now become this. You have your romantic movies, then you have the kick-ass, shoot 'em up type, just fun comedy action movies. Because last year you had The Kingsman, which ended up being in my top 10, and I believe this one is an easy contender to stay in the top 10 for the rest of the year. It was crazy. I'll start off with the humor in this movie. The humor is awesome. It's very meta right from the opening credits. You'll be chuckling away, and I pretty much had a grin on the entire movie. There's nonstop. It goes at a lightning pace. There's something interesting in every scene. Even in the scenes that are somewhat darker and more menacing, there's always a joke right around the corner. So it's always going to keep you smiling. But with that humor, it is very meta. There's a lot of pop culture references. There's a lot of references to the other Wolverine movies. So I would say, no one says this, but everyone says don't watch Wolverine Origins. It's bad. They ruined Deadpool. Watch Wolverine Origins. I'm saying watch it now because there's a lot of references to that movie, and it's now made the movie worthwhile. Now, I know some of the marketing has come out and it's shown like this kind of like jokey, the love story type thing, and the marketing is not necessarily lying. There is a love story in this movie, and it's a very believable one. It's not your typical boy meets girl story, but it works for those characters, and it makes it more interesting because it's something new. It's something refreshing. This movie changes the superhero game for sure because it's not your typical superhero story. There's fourth wall breaking. There's this crazy love story, like I said. It's very unique and a very fresh take on the superhero genre. It also ties into the X-Men universe. Colossus is in this movie, and he's great. He's hilarious. He's a great foil to Deadpool's snarky personality. And it also introduces Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who is surprisingly really cool. She's really awesome. Even the villain is menacing, and you want Deadpool to kill this guy because of stuff he's done, and he works. He's actually he's not the best villain I've ever seen in a superhero film, but he's definitely not the worst. So he's Ed Skrein plays him from he used to play Dario Naharis on Game of Thrones, the first actor who played him before it was recast. But yeah, he's awesome in this movie. There's a lot to love in this movie. Ryan Reynolds is now Deadpool. That is who he is in my eyes. Morena Baccarin was awesome as well, playing off of Ryan Reynolds, and also TJ Miller. Whenever he's in a scene, you're laughing at pretty much everything the guy says. He was amazing as well. And the superhero film isn't a superhero film without the action scenes. The action scenes were crazy, very over the top, lots of blood, and again, it reminded me of the Kingsman type action scenes. It's not quite the style that Matthew Vaughn uses, but the violence aspect of it was very much up that alley. And every action scene I loved. There's not one action sequence that I did not. Start to finish, action scenes were awesome. It also tells the story in a non-linear fashion, so it's going from present day to the past, and then back to present, back to past, and it works for the story. It keeps it interesting because there's not a whole lot of action going on in the beginning of the tale of Deadpool. So when you sprinkle an action scene pretty much in the present day, go back, it works really well. It keeps the pacing on par. So with all that said, I really love this movie. It's probably going to end up in my top 10. It was so much fun. Getting out of the theater, I was like, I really, really like this movie. And then driving on the way home, I was thinking back to all the jokes and everything I loved about it. And I ended up saying, I love this movie. And for that, I'm going to give the movie rating a 9.5 out of 10. The 0.5 is basically because there's some jokes I didn't necessarily understand, and I think some people might not quite understand them as well. There might be a couple ones because it is very meta and pop culture based and that. So the 9.5 just for that, but that's not even a negative really. It's just, if you know them, you're gonna laugh. So but as for my enjoyment rating, 10 out of 10. I loved it. I'm gonna watch this again. I'm gonna try and take as many people I can to it just because it's such a fun movie. I recommend watching this. It's weird how in BC, I live in BC, Canada, it's rated 14A, when in the States it's like a hard R, and it should be probably 18A here in BC, but it's not. There's a lot of nudity and all that, so it's strange. Even Ex Machina, side note, Ex Machina was rated PG in BC, and there's nudity in that, so it's weird. But with all that said, let me know your thoughts on the movie, and if you're looking forward to Deadpool, in the comment section below. Again, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos each and every week. That is it, and I'll talk to you all later.